Good evening, everybody. It's me, Alex Garcia, aka The C.O.G, coming at you as always from comicbookclick.com to bring you yet another month of major previews where we look into the future and let you know what the books you need to be picking up for the month of June 2026. We never do anything here alone, and I'm here once again with our friend Russell, King of Hearts, Hartman. Welcome to the show again, man.
Yo, it's great to be back, man. I'm very excited for June. There's some really cool books coming out. I wish we could each do 10 different books, but unfortunately, we don't have all the people got to spend their time in different places. We're here to give you six of them that we think you're gonna dig today.
Absolutely. I mean, we could go on and on about every book and why every book needs to be purchased. But one, we understand everybody's on a budget nowadays. Gas is unaffordable, so just getting to the comic store is a pain in the ass, right? So let's tell you, at least on a budget, what are the six books you need to be picking up. And look, last time I believe I went first, and you, sir, since you are the king here, tell us your first pick.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And I'm very happy to start us off with one I've been looking forward to for a while now. June is going to be the month of Supergirl, kicking off the summer of Supergirl with the new movie coming out at the end of June, which I am so pumped for, and I cannot wait to see what happens within that film. But starting us off, our first one of our six is DC's Supergirl The World, a global anthology that will be coming out on June 2nd worldwide. This book not only has a story from the United States, but from Germany, Italy, Spain, Brazil, Mexico, Argentina, Cameroon, France, Poland, Turkey, Finland, Colombia, Serbia, and Japan. All different countries that are going to have stories from their perspectives about with Supergirl. Every single country has their own creative team too,
Wow.
different writers, different artists, and to even top it off even more, each country is going to have a different cover. And let me tell you guys out there, the different covers from these countries. Number one, Joelle Jones's cover for North America is stunning,
Gorgeous.
stunning.
Gorgeous.
I'm gonna do my best with some of these names with some of the other covers I've seen that have really stuck out to me. Rosi Campe from Finland, beautiful cover. Sarah Rodriguez from Colombia, another great cover.
Mhm.
And like I urge all of you to check out all of the ones from all these different countries. But these are just some highlights I'm seeing. The last one I really want to point out, Mariana Moreno from Mexico, another gorgeous cover. I mean, just really, really cool stuff. Which will really be kicking off June, kicking off the month Supergirl comes out. And I'm really excited to read all these stories because Superman the World was great, Batman the World was great. I haven't gotten around to Joker the World yet, but the ones I did read, I had a blast. I'm really excited to see what they do with Kara Zor-El. She's such a fantastic character.
I saw the advertisement and the preview of this on Superman Day, and I got it, but I haven't looked through it, and I kind of took it for granted, because between Superman Day and then Free Comic Book Day coming so quickly, and also just the plethora of great books to read, this kind of just got lost in the shuffle. But I do remember the cover. The cover was absolutely striking, and I knew, ooh, I'm gonna get to this. You making it your pick and seeing what it is, because I just forgot about the world books. I genuinely did, but in researching this, I'm like, oh, I remember that Superman the World cover with all the flags on it. That
Epic, yeah.
it's beautiful. It's a beautiful collection. I hope they release it the same way. Is it going to be a hardcover release? You think, like
Yeah,
the other ones?
so it's gonna be 24.99 US when it comes out, 184-page hardcover with
For
all those stories.
24.99.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty
This thing
good.
looks amazing to me. And this is a book that it's an art book, even though it's going to have great
Oh yeah,
stories. And this is one
absolutely.
of those books. I love books like this because this is something you can hand to anybody, and say, just appreciate the art. Look at the multicultural representation that's here. Check out these stories that can speak volumes to anyone from around the world. When people sit there and go, comic books are for kids and they're an American boringness, hand them something like this and go, yeah, you sure about that? This to me, I can see them doing an art show on just this book. It's gorgeous. It's
Yeah, it's
absolutely gorgeous,
stunning.
stunning.
And at the end of the day, it's great that I feel like this is the book that's going to start our whole massive Supergirl push leading into June and over the
Yep.
summer because you're not just seeing the perspective of her from one place. You're seeing the perspective of writers and artists from all around the globe. And as someone who, they've changed the Kryptonian slogan over the past few years from truth, justice, in the American way to truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. To
Mhm.
show that these characters not only are for one place and one
Right.
sitting in one area, they are here for the globe.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Whether it's Cal, whether it's Kara, whether it's Connor, whether it's John, they are here to protect the world.
You're right.
And it's nice that there's this kind of been more of a push to understand that they are more, they are for everybody.
Hmm.
And I'm really excited to see what all of these creative teams bring forward here as we march forward into the summer of Supergirl.
Right.
Because, man, not only do we get this, but I think we might have another thing to talk about with her in the same episode.
Well, hey, it is the summer of Supergirl. I almost made the summer of Supergirl special one of my picks. It would probably be number five because I am excited for the movie and I'm excited for the elevation of this character. And I'm happy that at least one of us is talking about it this episode. But I hate to be a downer to follow up your number one pick because my number one pick is going to be controversial for many different reasons.
Oh no, I think I have an idea of where this one's going.
My
I
number one
think
pick is Avengers Armageddon number one from Marvel. I know it's by Chip Zdarsky, art by Delio Diaz and Frank Alpizar, two artists I'm not really familiar with, but Chip Zdarsky has been the recent architect for a lot of Marvel books. He's doing Captain America. He's doing Russ's favorite comic book right now, Wolverine: Weapons of Armageddon.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't believe this guy just said that's my favorite book right now.
I get it. Look, but that's I this conversation shows the transparency we have over here at Comic Book Click, right? Russ is not a fan of the book. I am because I'm hopeful that this is all going to lead into what I hate to make it like this, but the renaissance that Marvel needs right now. All the other publishers, I know this, even as a big Marvel fan that I am, Image, DC, Oni Press, Mad Cave, Dynamite are all kicking the crap out of Marvel right now. And Marvel needs a big win. They're pushing this story as if though it's going to be the genuine big event changing status quo shifting event that Marvel needs to reignite everything. Marvel does have a couple of very, very solid books: Infernal Hulk, Moon Knight, Mortal Thor, stuff that's getting attention. But on a whole, it seems like people are kind of looking at the Marvel line like it's very lackluster, and it's hard to argue against that. This event needs to make big waves, and I really, really hope that it does and eventually changes your opinion going back and looking on Wolverine Weapons of Armageddon. Tell me why. Tell everybody why who's not reading your reviews, and you should be reading his reviews of why
Oh,
it is
thank you,
that you do
Alex.
not feel as positive as I do about this event.
Okay. Um, all right, where to begin? So when you have a big event, and like Alex is saying here, Marvel has been getting their ass kicked in the comic book arena right now. Okay, I'm picturing that meme of the guy like he's looking in the background drinking something while he sees everybody fighting. I'm picturing like that being DC while Marvel's just fighting off different people
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of the arena
Mm-hmm.
basically and
Right,
getting
right.
getting beat up.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, my issue with Weapons of Armageddon, you want to draw people in. You want to have this big earth-shattering event that's going to make people want to care about Marvel again, right? You want to draw readers back in, make them
Mm-hmm.
excited for what's to come. I'm 3 issues into the lead up now, and I just can't find that spark that's really getting me into it. Now, definitely part of that, and I don't want to seem like I'm a hater here. I'm not entirely caught up with everything with the Ultimate Universe. I know that Ultimate Box thing has something to
Mm-hmm.
do with what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I
Right,
understand that David Colton's had a much bigger role in things
right.
recently, and I am not unaware to the fact that I am not as knowledgeable about the characters that are in this particular storyline as some other people may be. But I also feel like that's part of the issue here. When you're trying to get people into an event and you're trying to get readers into this, and I've said this in a few of my reviews for it so far, you don't want them to have to do too much homework. And some people might disagree with me. I totally understand that. We don't always agree on everything all the time. If we did, it
That's fine.
really wouldn't make sense if we want to read all of our work. We have, we all have
Yep.
different opinions on these things.
Yep.
But I just feel that where it's all going, and again, I'm missing some context for sure, but I just feel like the lead up to this is kind of a jumble of ideas that they threw, and they're just let's see what sticks in the lead up, and we'll figure it out when we get to the main event. And For
Hmm.
me, in a book that even has Wolverine's name in bold letters on the front cover, I find myself typically only really caring about what David Colton's been up to in the book. Nuke
Hmm.
really does nothing for me,
Right.
personally. This new character they're introducing, Tyler Terrence, who's this new, basically
Hmm.
Weapon X type character. He's just kind of been yelling at people the whole time, and like
Right.
I'm sure we'll get to more of that as it goes on. But you know, Wolverine's fine in the book, and I just feel like it's not clicking with me as much as for other people. I'm glad that, Alex has a different perspective on this. This is some, but for me, I kind of just have it checked off that okay, next month's my last issue of reviewing this, and I'm kind of glad I could set it off on its own after that.
Right.
I just feel like it's again, it might resonate really well with some people, but for me, it's just been kind of a drag because the story's just not clicking for me. The art's been great, but the story's just not
Right.
there for me.
I All of those points 100% valid. And that's one of the reasons why, again, I looking from your perspective, why I can see this not even necessarily failing, but failing to pull people in. Because it's like you're forcing all this new weird stuff on us. Marvel fans, for the most part, we're comfortable with what we know. So here in this book, you're getting a lot of what is new. Captain America is doing lots of weird things that's also leading into this event. And even that book was up and down for me up until like the last like 2 or 3 issues. And I'm wary of this. I'm wary. All valid points, but I am hopeful because I'm a big believer in if Marvel is healthy, the industry is healthy. And considering how healthy the industry is right now with Marvel not doing well, just imagine if Marvel was also kicking ass. You know what I mean? So like people like to say, right? A rising tide raises all ships.
All ships, absolutely.
So I'm just hoping this does kick ass and we end up with a great event that literally does lead into cataclysmic positive change for the Marvel Universe.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right because again, I'm never one to. I might err to the side of DC more, but in no way do I ever want to see Marvel do bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the Incredible Hulk is one of my favorite characters in comic book history.
Mhm.
I love Spider-Man like so many of you guys do out there. Like I read Avengers, like I love this stuff, and I feel like people just want them to be as good as they know they can be.
Yeah.
And when you see Marvel putting out stuff like Infernal Hulk and Moon Knight, you know that they can hit that level.
Yeah.
Now we just all want to see more books hit that level. Because
So
right now, it's like we're in this boxing match and DC's throwing haymakers and they don't have an answer.
I agree. So, but speaking of answers, what's your answer to my number one pick, sir?
Oh, my answer to your number one pick. So now my number two, we're gonna stick with my favorite Kryptonian family, and we're gonna go with a book that's coming out in June, and this is called Supergirl Survive. Now,
Hmm.
this one is written by Ethan S. Parker and Griffin Sheridan, art by Rod Rice, comes out June 3rd, and this is a very different take on the early days of Kara and Kal-El before they get to Earth. Now,
So an Elseworld book.
it seems to be that way, yes. So
Hmm.
this is as it says on as I'm reading from some of this information, Krypton's collapsing, General Zod's in control, and teenage Kara and baby Kal-El are sent off together, and they get to be in space and the universe themselves now. Now, the biggest thing with Supergirl was always that she arrived to Earth later. Her pod was knocked off track. By the time she got here, Superman was Superman. Now we are completely throwing that out the window, where the two cousins get to leave Krypton together, and they get to now the dynamic has changed because now Supergirl really will be the older cousin. Cal, she's gonna have to figure out how to take care of him. I can't wait to see where this goes because number one, the art looks really cool from what I've seen so far. The covers look like they're really cool, and not only we always have this dynamic with Superman and Supergirl where Kara is always like, I'm the older one. I was born first. I had all this perspective on Krypton that you don't have because you didn't get to experience any of this when you were younger. Now we get to see what would happen if they both grew up in real time. How does this relationship form when Kara truly is the older one the whole time now? What lessons is she going to impart upon baby Kal-El? What are they going to go through together that's going to change the both of them? We've never seen a story like this.
Hmm.
And I'm very excited to see what this writing team does. I'm sure we're going to get some totally badass art out of this too. But to tell a story of, we've all heard the origin of Superman a million times. We know Krypton blows up. We know they send. Really? Where? I never heard that before. We know where they send him. We know where he goes. We know who takes him. Now he gets to be with a member of his family in what you would assume is, I don't know what, if there's gonna be time jumps, whatever it's gonna
We
be,
don't know.
but we're gonna get to see a version of Cal raised by Kara, who had to see this world crumble before her very eyes. And I'm very curious how that is going to change who Kal-El eventually becomes. This is an exciting book to me. I'm very pumped.
You know, this again with the Supergirl stuff was almost one of my picks. And this because it's funny is DC didn't put the world in their previous books, so I had to look that up after the fact. But this was in their previous book, and it was between this and the Summer of Supergirl that were almost my picks because I know I want to have a Supergirl book to check out, especially with the movie coming out. It didn't make my list because it was an Elseworld story. Because I'm like, all right, I kind of want to stay in the actual DC universe to see how it corresponds to everything. And I've really been enjoying myself getting into it. But especially the way you describe it, and I didn't even realize that Rod Reese was doing the art on this, or Rod Reyes. I forget how to say his name. I love his art. He's doing great stuff over at Ghost Machine with Jeff Johns on a couple things over there. This sounds like a kick-ass story, and it's just all I'm looking at is stop making me spend money on more comics, Russ. The only person that's getting a kick out of how much crap I'm adding to my pull list is my comic guy. That's the only person that's loving it. Like my kids are sitting there going, "We're tired of having cereal for dinner, Poppy." But I gotta read these comics. I'm sorry, guys. This sounds great. The art looks amazing. You're absolutely right. Seeing Kara holding baby Clark, or in this case, Cal.
Yeah. See, what did
Right?
you just say, right? There is no
Yeah.
Clark in the
There is
story.
no
Isn't that
Clark.
crazy to think?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no.
Yeah. So this looks like it's gonna be an interesting story. I'm happy. See, man. DC it's bad enough it's kicking ass just in their regular universe, but then they got the absolute universe. They bring back Vertigo, and now for shits and giggles, they're like, "Fuck it, here's Elseworlds too." The fuck,
Everything.
man.
Yeah.
It's just
Everything.
like you said. Those are the haymakers. Regular 6 months. Their regular universe. Vertigo, absolute, Elseworld for shits and oh my god.
And I just want to point out too, for years and years, how long was DC Films and all of this in so much flux? And now we're just getting bangers now.
Yeah,
Every project that's coming out from James Gunn, bangers.
yeah.
Matt Reeves with his Batman universe, which today we were dropping
They did.
casting announcements all over Twitter, like like just
They got
everything they're
no.
doing right now.
They
Yeah.
stole. Look, Marvel killed ScarJo as Black Widow, and DC's resurrecting her as who knows what character in the Batman
And
movie now.
and it's rumor, of course, who's supposed to be Harvey Dent in this new movie?
Yeah,
Sebastian Stan.
you mean the Winter
Yeah,
Soldier?
the soldier. Yeah, it's like, and what's also filming right now as we speak, Man of Tomorrow.
Man of
Like,
Tomorrow.
there's
Yeah,
just keep it coming.
yeah.
Keep it coming. Like,
Hey, for
yeah,
years we have been asking for DC to get their heads out of their asses between, and I know we're gonna upset people by saying this, between the Zack Snyder stuff, between the weird publishing that they were going through with their previous editor in chief. I don't want to say his name because I don't want to bash anybody personal like that, but he was just to me not the person that needed to steward the ship. I said it. I think it was like 2 years ago when DC officially handed the reins over to Jim Lee. I said them finally giving the reins to Jim Lee. He knows comics, and he is such a
absolutely.
humble person that he knew who to put in his court. And he got James Tynion, he got Scott Snyder, and a plethora of other creators. And DC has just been firing on all cylinders. So thank you, Jim Lee. You know comics. Thank you, DC. And just hopefully this fucking puts a fire in Marvel's ass. Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. All right. My number two pick. Freaking, I don't even remember my number two pick right now.
He's got to go check. He's flustered. He's
I,
flustered
I
from
am
the
I am
conversation.
genuinely flustered. And look, I should have known. I should have known because this is one of the books that's sucking me back into DC. It's Deathstroke the Terminator, number 4. right? By Tony Fleece and Carmine Giandomenico. This is one of those new DC all-in second wave books that came out recently. You know, you have Lobo, you have Zatanna, Batwoman, Firestorm, all these honestly like second tier characters that don't get the limelight. Deathstroke is a character who, for honestly, as much as I knew he was Deathstroke, how do you know him more as?
Me? Oh my God. I was first introduced to him years ago on a just a teeny little known cartoon known on Teen Titans.
Right,
Some people
but
might
what
have heard of it.
but what did they call him? What did they call him?
Slade.
Right,
Slade.
because they weren't
Yeah.
allowed to say Deathstroke. It was
Yeah.
too much for the kids. But they made sure he still stayed in character though. He stayed in character. The guy was frightening. And I liked
Yeah.
him on that. I liked him because I just the look of the character. I was a big Deadpool fan growing up, so they would always talk about, oh, Deadpool is a ripoff of Deathstroke, blah blah. So I always knew.
No.
Shocker, right?
No.
But I bought most of the second wave stuff. I got Lobo, I got Deathstroke, I bought a couple other ones. Deathstroke hit and hit hard. Number 2 has come out since then. Awesome. I'm getting number 3 in a couple days, and I already know I'm going to want number 4 because in number 4, his daughter shows up, right? Who has such a great freaking name, Ravager. It shows up, and it's like, well, see, Deathstroke right now, he's been stripped of all his money. That's what's happening in his story. So Deathstroke is usually this guy who's essentially an evil Batman, right? He's got all the money. He's the tactician. He's just as smart as Batman. He figures out ways to beat characters he has no business beating. But now the Tony Fleece has stripped him down to nothing. He's lost all his money. He's having to build himself back up. Everybody's out to kill him because they're figuring they can take him down and make a name for themselves. And now it's like, well, Ravager, his daughter that he raised to be such another wonderful bounty hunter, mercenary type character, is she coming to help Daddy, or is she coming to stake her claim to take her dad's place?
Dude, I
I
think
can't
you're
wait for
selling me on this right now. I
dude.
think
It's
you're
such a good
selling
book.
me on this
It's
right now,
such a good
dude.
book.
Yeah.
It's such a
Yeah.
good book. I've already dropped Lobo because that kind of didn't hit on all cylinders for me. But Deathstroke keeps it going because it feels, and I know we've been saying this a lot lately with, especially we saw Punisher the other day and all these things. We've been saying a lot of, oh, it's like John Wick. It's like John Wick. This though is, if you like John Wick, it's John Wick, and I'm gonna dare say this: it's John Wick on steroids. Because one thing John Wick didn't have was lots of just massive explosions. In the first issue, the entire issue is on fire. Like everything is happening, and it's like everything is burning down. It's just like, yo, get out the building, get out the building, get out of where you're
I
from.
gotta check this out because I know Jack, who's another one of our reviewers. He likes it too,
Yeah, it's
and
so
his
good.
reviews for the yeah, he's been talking pretty good about it also.
Yeah,
I think you guys are selling me right now.
yeah.
I got Frank's selling me on books every week. I got you. You guys look similar to your problem, Alex. I got my wallet's not gonna be too happy, but oh man,
But your heart and mind will be filled.
yeah.
So
Too bad when the entire run of Hickman's Avengers shows up in my house next week. My wife is gonna hit me over the head, but that's okay.
tell the tell the whoever it is that's delivering it, put a note on the door like, put it
Yeah,
around back, put it around back. You know.
exactly.
Anyway, so I highly recommend that book. There's really not much to say about it because it's still so new, but it's firing on all cylinders already, guys. So I highly recommend it. If you can weasel that extra $4 or $5, get it. But if not, I don't blame you. But what is your last pick of the month, sir?
Oh, this is a fun one. And this is one that I've been reviewing for the Click since the first issue. And the first issue, I wasn't too sure. But the last few issues, I think they've completely understood the assignment. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to talk about my last pick for June, and this is Godzilla Infinity Roar #5, written by Jerry Duggan, pencils by Domenico Carbone and Javier Garron. And all I'm going to say is Doctor Doom piloting Mecha Godzilla. I think that's all I have to say there, because if that interests you, pick up the book. And look at it this way, right? we've this is the finale, so this is the ending of this miniseries now. That started, I believe, in Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. This is the ending to this big whole thing that they've done. And I really think that I think these Marvel heroes need to stop shooting people into space because it doesn't ever seem to work out in their favor when the things in
Oh,
space come back.
yes.
So over these 5 issues, Godzilla has fought Galactus, fought King Ghidorah, massacred the Shi'ar Empire, all while basically being a pawn in Null's big plan to infect the World Tree and
Mhm.
thus infect the universe with his symbiote rot. Yes, it's ridiculous, but I promise you, it's fun as hell to
Symbiote
read.
rod.
Yeah, so last issue, Null's Godworm fully takes over the tree. Inside of all of the heroes, like bodies and hearts, they're taken over by these symbiotes and they fall into unconscious, basically. But one man is not affected because he has the foresight to protect himself with magic. Victor Von Doom is not affected by Null. And what does he do at the end of last issue? He walks into this cave inside a mountain, and this weapon is waiting for him, and we get one of the coolest final pages in a single issue of a comic book this year where Doctor Doom is standing in front of Mecha Godzilla, ready to step into this thing and pilot it to fight who knows what, Godzilla, Null, whatever's going to happen. Just based on the cover, we got Doom, Godzilla, and Null all scrapping. Give me all of this. This is a Godzilla book. I'm not here for the most eloquent writing that I've ever seen. That's not what I'm here to read this book. I'm here to open this book and see Godzilla kicking ass.
Right.
And for the
And
past few issues, that's what I've been seeing.
yeah,
And I love it.
yeah.
I love
I,
it.
what I'm loving about the Godzilla books, and I'm not reading them, but I love your description. I love hearing about them. I love reading your reviews. Is it's it's Godzilla, right? And
It's
just with
Godzilla.
with Godzilla, it always feels like, well, how can they up the ante? How can they up the ante? Because they recently did. I did get a couple of the one shots with like Thor and Godzilla and Spider-Man and Godzilla. I got a couple of those because I liked some of the creative teams. I liked the art, but that was about it. And then when that was done, I was like, okay, it's over. Where can they go to next? Godzilla Infinity Roar, where we're gonna throw Null and Doctor Doom and here's the thing. I'm convinced it's not over yet. I'm this is
Oh,
the
oh.
issue 5. There's gonna be
It wouldn't
like
shock me.
it's gonna be like Godzilla, Apocalyptico, Infinity War, Armageddon, Conquest for 12 issues because why not? Like you said, throw his ass into space. He'll
Yeah.
he'll he'll fight the entire Shi'ar and then the Badoon and the Kree that are lingering up there and he'll find Ultron again up there or something. He'll fight.
Somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Somehow.
like you said, you're not reading this because you're not reading this for poetry, despite the fact that Godzilla hung out with Romeo and Juliet in your last pick.
How disappointing. But we're not here to talk about
We're
that,
not
but
talking about
how
that. But still,
disappointing. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
much like Batman, but a lot of people talk about how Batman is a character that you could put him in any story and he works. It seems like whether you're a guy in a leather suit or a giant, radioactive lizard, it seems to work both ways because Godzilla works everywhere you put him. And like I'm looking at the covers and it just doesn't it shouldn't
Yeah.
work. It shouldn't work, but it works. It works. And they keep putting out people like you are loving it. People are loving it. And look, I'm gonna give a shout out to my boy Mike Gojira64. That's his screen name and his email to this day. He was one of the people when back in the day got me into Godzilla or tried to get me into Godzilla, but he would just throw all this Godzilla, stuff at me. And I remember laughing at him, being like, "Nah, no one likes Godzilla that much. You're the one guy." And he loves showing me Godzilla this and Godzilla this and all these. And I'm like, I was wrong. I was wrong. I would take it on the chin. You are absolutely correct. And I mean, it just keeps going. This character just keeps getting bigger, and bigger. And I'm looking forward to Godzilla. What is it? -0?
-0, baby. Oh man, look, but that's just it, right? Not only do we have my last, I could talk about Godzilla forever. I'll make this my last point on Godzilla because I love him so much. I've seen almost all the Japanese movies. I'm actually making my way through them right now, all of them for the first time
I'm sorry to
chronologically.
cut you off. I thought you were going to say you were making a movie. I was going to go, oh shit,
No,
that's
no,
an
I
announcement.
wish, I wish I was
No,
talented
you're
enough,
making
but
your way
no.
through it. Okay.
I'm making my way through all the Japanese films for like the first time chronologically.
Mm-hmm.
We
Nice.
have the MonsterVerse stuff with the American side of it, with King Kong and all the crazy stuff going on with Hollow Earth and all the. Look, man, I just want to see Godzilla beat up stuff. It's great,
Yeah.
but when you want the more kind of like uh the more seriousness or the deeper tone, you have the Japanese series right now. You have what Toho's doing with the Godzilla minus series, which minus one is the one time a Godzilla movie has actually made me tear up in a movie theater and feel these crazy emotions. Minus zero, I do not remember ever seeing the hype for a Godzilla movie like I'm seeing from minus zero from people,
Yeah,
just from how well minus one
yeah,
was received.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and not only that, in the movies, you have a Japanese American franchise going. You have Godzilla again. You have Infinity War. You have him Godzilla versus America that's been going on recently. You have
Hmm.
Destroys the Marvel Universe. They just did a whole second series of Godzilla versus Justice League versus Kong that just wrapped up a few months
Yep.
ago. This dude is
Everywhere, everywhere.
everywhere,
Hmm.
and people love Godzilla. So look, if you like Godzilla and you want to see him do cool stuff, pick it up. And
I agree.
frankly, just want to see Doctor Doom pilot Mechagodzilla. Buy the
I
book.
I'm all for that. I'm all for it. Like if straight up there is a cover for this that just has Doctor Doom
Oh,
piloting
give
Mechagodzilla,
me yeah,
I'll pick it up just for
yeah,
that. Like
just for that.
I might not even read the issue, but I will pick that up. You know what I mean? So I get
Absolutely.
it. I get it. All right. I don't blame you. Excellent picks. My last pick is I understand is going to be a bit of a wild card pick because this
Let's
is a
see.
property that I think a lot of people have forgotten. I think this is Kirkman kind of swinging for the moon, but I think it's going to land. I'm hoping it lands. It's Mask #1 by Image coming in June. It's going to be part of the Energon universe. Are you reading any of the Energon universe books?
No, but I'm assuming Energon is Transformers
Transformers.
type stuff,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So it's all the Transformers, Void Rivals, GI Joe stuff being smashed together. Kirkman and company have been killing it, right? Daniel Warren Johnson started the Transformers. Kirkman's taken over. Kirkman's also writing Void Rivals, and GI Joe is also being written beautifully by Joshua Williamson. They recently backdoored Mask, right? Mask was a 80s cartoon where these guys, these GI Joe type guys would pilot these vehicles that would transform. So it's like, okay, so that already back in the day was mashing the idea of GI Joe and Transformers put together, but it was different. So the vehicles were not living; they were activated by their pilots, and the car would turn into a jet. The helicopter would turn into like a massive jet. A motorcycle would turn into a helicopter, and there was like 10 different vehicles. All the characters had these cool helmets, this classic 80s property. They're now mixing it into the Energon universe. Tracker, the main head of the mask, the good guys, right? He was ninja premiered in the pages of GI Joe to the point where it even made me forget who he was. I'm thinking, oh, this is one of those weird GI Joe characters that I don't remember. And then later on, when he shows up at the car, I'm like, oh no, this is a mask guy because they already introduced the villain from see it's mask and it's an acronym. It's like mobile assault something. I forget what it stands for. I'm looking for it. What is it? Where is it? Did they put
Oh,
it
I
somewhere
got it
here?
up here. Mobile Armored Strike Command.
There you go.
I
And the
love
and
that.
and the
Yeah.
villains are Venom, Venom, and that stands for something also. I
I love it.
this cartoon was one of those that it left an imprint on my childhood, but it didn't have the lasting power. I think if you look back on it, it only had maybe 30 episodes, maybe more, but it didn't. But the toys were memorable, it was fun, and the fact that Kirkman is just I feel like even Kirkman's looking at this like I'm gonna see what I can get away with. And we got a great team on this. We got Dan Waters. He's done excellent work. We talked recently about you loving the was it you that said you read the fingered the story. It's the one hand and the five fingers, I believe, where it was him and Ram V writing opposite sides of this detective
Not me,
story.
but that sounds sick.
I apologize, it
Yeah.
wasn't you, but yeah, it was a great story. Dan Waters has been doing great work. He's teamed up a lot of times with Ram V. He's done a lot of other cool books. Can't remember them at the top of my head right now, but look up his career, and I guarantee you're gonna find books that you've heard of. He's a great creator, so it's fun. He's like a new person in the Energon universe. We've had Kirkman, Danny Warren Johnson, Josh Williamson, and now we got Dan Waters coming in with artist Pi Par, who is looking like they're gonna do a great job on this. And this is also gonna be the first Energon universe book to have the blind bags, which I know is some people hate them, some people love them. I'm in between. I'm
I'm
always
kind of
happy,
with you there because I
you
see
know.
the value and I see like the like, oh, what am I gonna get aspect, but like it's also the what am I gonna get aspect.
Right.
It's the same thing both ways.
For me, my make or break is if it's a cover price blind bag, I'm fine. I don't mind. Then I'll roll the dice, and I still only spent this. Some of the blind bags I've seen where it's like, oh, these blind bags are $10, $20. I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, I'm
no,
good.
no, thank you,
Exactly, yeah.
no, thank you.
Because on the
So
off chance it's something I don't like, I'd be mad. I'd be
yeah,
so mad.
but check out some of the people making some of the covers on this. We got this gonna have a J. Scott Campbell cover. It's gonna have a Mark Spears cover, a Julio Ferreira cover, a Tom Riley cover, um, a John Boy Myers cover, Joshua Cassara cover, a Mike Spicer cover, a Danny Warren Johnson cover, a
Dude, I'm looking at these covers right now.
a
They're
Mark a
awesome.
Mark
Yeah.
Silvestri, Ian Bertram, so and a whole bunch of other names who Sabine Rich. I'm not familiar with their work, but it might be good. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see how all of this is going to get crushed into the Energon universe and just keep making that universe bigger and crazier because
Dude, this
it's
is
back.
great. Like, it's so fun. It's comics is amazing for this reason. Like, I didn't even know about all this stuff, and I'm sure like you guys have talked about it in the chat here or there. But like, we're all busy during the day. We only check, we check the chat in spurts. What are people talking about? But this sounds like something like the little kid of me would dig. Like, this is all
Yeah.
just like cool people doing cool stuff and cool cars. Like,
And
like this
right.
is awesome.
And if you didn't know it, then I guarantee you some of our listeners may not. And
Yeah.
this is something that maybe was part of your childhood also that you're realizing, oh crap, I haven't heard about this since I was 8 years old. Or this is something that, like kind of like you just when you said from the beginning, just the concept sounds cool. I'll give it a shot. And it's being done by the image creators who I don't think we've mentioned yet, but DC and Image have both just knocked it out of the park with their Eisner nominations. So they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Pick up these books, check them out. That's what we got. That's what we got, right?
I think that's a pretty good list. I think it's a
And
pretty good list this
and
month
there's
for
so
sure.
much stuff. It's so easy to pick the absolute books, right? It's so easy to pick, the Transformers or even Absolute Martian Manhunter. Give me some books. Infernal Hulk.
I was about to say I could have easily dropped Infernal Hulk again on here, but like I wanted to highlight some other really interesting stuff that's going out for
Exactly,
sure.
exactly. Because a lot of people stay in their zone. But even you said before we started the show, you talked about how once you started getting out of your zone, you realize how much quality is out there. And then as more you keep expanding that zone, you find, yo, what is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? And that's what we do here at Major Previews with the Comic Book Click, right? We want to just keep expanding your minds to opening you to these new as the Dark Phoenix would have said, these new sensations, because you got to be a part of it. You got to eat it, because I guarantee you, it's gonna get most of the stuff gets big, and then next thing you know, well, I never heard of this. Why did CBC tell us? We're telling you right now, so make sure you're
I'm
paying
telling you
attention.
now.
All right, so guys, thank you so much for taking this time of the month to hear these books. Let us know the books we missed. Let us know what you're picking up, because I guarantee you there's stuff that even fell beyond our reaches. So let us know. Make sure you're keeping track of all of the reviews, especially the reviews written by this man right here, the King of Hearts, over at comicbookclick.com. Check out our YouTube, our X, our Facebook, our Instagram. Make sure you're checking out our Patreon, CBC Clubhouse, where you can help keep these lights on. You can keep, Jack of Hearts over here buying books without having to make his wife want to kill him. I'm buying books right now, and I have one light bulb on in my entire house because that's all I can afford is one light bulb right now with all these books that I'm buying. But if you can help us out for just literally $3 a month, that's less than a cup of coffee a day, especially nowadays. I mean, I went to Starbucks the other day. One cup of coffee was like $6, and it wasn't even that good. So $3 a month, help us out, or help us out in any other ways by just liking, sharing, and subscribing. We really appreciate it, guys, especially in times like this where sometimes it feels like there's a whole lot of animosity in the world. You're gonna get the love here from the click. So, guys, I'm Alex Garcia, aka the COG, talking to you from comicbookclick.com.
I'm Russell Hartman, King of Hearts. Proud to be with Alex for this month's major previews. And kind of like Alex is saying, we could go on for hours for all these different kinds of books. There's always going to
Yep,
be stuff that even we don't get to. Let us know. Is there stuff you want us to talk about or
that's right.
preview, or books that you think deserve to have the attention? Please, we can't possibly read everything either. Let us know, and maybe we'll talk about it on the show.
And that's it, guys. And because we make the show, I'm gonna let you know what I always let you know. Keep print alive and read more comics. Until next time, guys. Later.